Hey guys, Joe here from Clean Getaway Car Detailing. Well, today we're going to be doing a cheap versus expensive with machine polishers. So here we have the Tool Pro DA polishing machine. I don't even know what model this is, but it is a DA random orbital machine, purchased for about $100. I think it was $90 on special, but I think they'll retail for $110. Big spender, I know. So about $100 for a machine polisher. And we also got here the Flex, the XCE. This is the expensive one, made in Germany, most likely made in China. And this one is a force rotation polishing machine. And it's got a smaller orbit than this, I believe. It's actually free spinning as well. So we're gonna see how we go comparing the cheaper machine versus the expensive one. There's about $700 difference in these, I believe. I think I could be wrong, I can't remember. This is about a year old. Maybe it was a little bit cheaper. We'll confirm that later on in the notes on the video. But pretty much what we're gonna be doing, we got this Sirocco here. We're gonna be just machine polishing some of the bonnet. It's not terribly bad, this car, like it's not really ridiculously swirled or anything. So we're just gonna be using the same pad. They're obviously a different size, but we're gonna be doing a few passes on the Volkswagen, and we're gonna compare what's the clarity like, what's got more cut, if there's any major difference between these two machines, because there is quite a difference in the price. So let's tape it up and then let's get started with the Flex. All right, so we're gonna be hitting off with the Flex. The XCE is a forced rotation polishing machine. It's got I think it's an 8mm orbit on it. We're gonna be just polishing it with the Optimum Hyper Polish. So it's just a light machine polish, nothing crazy. And we're just gonna see what's gonna get the nicest result. We're gonna machine polish it for the same amount of time. Gonna do 2 passes up and down and then side to side, and then 1 final pass to finish it off. So I'm gonna try and make sure I polish for exactly the same time, and then we'll remove the polish with the same towels as well, so we'll see what kind of result, and we will inspect it with our inspection light, one of these. All right, that way it'll show what kind of clarity, what kind of swell removal, what we actually have achieved. So let's get some polish on here, eventually. And we're gonna start with this side here. So first of all, I'll just mix on the product first, and then I'll do 2 passes of machine polishing, and we'll go right up to speed 6 as well. And then I'll do 1 final pass of just smoothing it over. Slow pass. All right. We love using the Flex machines. They're just a nice machine to use. Really good cutting ability, great finishing down. It's gonna be interesting to see how we go. We've actually got a really nice result here. Done a little bit of hazing around there, but let's move on to the Tool Pro and let's see how we go with this one. Brand new machine. I actually have not used it yet. It's still got the zip tie on the lead. Oh man, I did that up really tight. Got a very short cord. Oh, hang on. That probably should come out. Who just leaves an Allen key just chilling out inside a buffing machine? Clearly I did not read the manual. So you see, this is not a forced rotation machine. This is also a free spinning DA, and it's got a massive throw. Whereas the Flex has a very small throw. So this is a very different kind of machine. But this is a DIY machine you can buy off the shelf yourself. So we're gonna get some polish on this and get to work. About the same amount we had on the Flex as well. So we're gonna start it off on a slow speed. Damn, this cord's awkward. All right. That was a bumpy ride. Definitely wants to go at it. and not as smooth. Oh man, it's feeling a bit of vibration from my hand there. Not as smooth as a Flex, that's for sure. It's got a good finish though. Really nice finish. Well, I've got to say, it's probably not like the world's best paint to do this kind of test on. Like when we look at this before paint, it's got it mainly marring through it. The metallic flake on this Sirocco is so thick and so dense, it hides so many defects. It's just such a good paint. It's really complementing. I can see why manufacturers use it, because they can get away with a lot. Just really want to examine this paintwork here. There's some little scratches through there that the Flex didn't take out. But then there's a lot of other defects in this car, this side here, that never came out too. So well, at the end of the day, there's actually not a crazy difference in the result. Now, this is gonna be our test run number 1. So we're gonna be doing a few tests on different types of paint. We wanna get a really munted, scratched up car so we can see the difference the Flex makes to a cheap machine like this Tool Pro that you can buy from Super Cheap Auto here in Australia. So on this car here, the differences, well, quite minimal, because it's not a heavily swirled, not a heavily scratched car. So the result we're trying to get is only a little bit better than before. So there's not such a wide room for improvement. The room for improvement is about there, where other cars, I know we can get a range of about that, like that much. But one thing we did notice was using the Flex, so much smoother, so much nicer. Like when using this machine, the weight, it's a lot lighter than this. It really feels like the balance of the weight is through the whole machine, where this one is very much right here. It's like super heavy on the top end. So we had to overcompensate on that. And you can just see they're very similar, but they're also kind of different. The shape of them, this one's a bit skinnier, but it's got a nice grip there, which is quite nice. And also the speed dial is on the side, which I believe is a much better way to do it. So that's a really good test there. I think we might just do another test here on these two sides, but we'll switch it up. We'll use a different compound. We'll use more of a cutting compound. Same pads, different compound, and let's see what kind of result we get. If one gets more hazing, if one can take out more scratches than the other, let's do that right now. This time around, we're going to be putting on Precision. It's a cutting compound. Let's see how we go with this. Whoa. If I could actually get it to work. There we go. That is a ballsy machine. The verdict. Right, so it hasn't finished down as nice as the Hyper Polish. I got a bit of compound sling on there too, so obviously the car's got some pretty bad scratches through it. Yeah, it's a bit messy. It definitely needs a second stage, but that's good to know. Good to see. I'll just try this light. Time to use the Flex. Oh, smooth. I've missed you, baby. One thing's for sure, the Flex is so much quieter. It's so much smoother. It is a nicer machine to use, that's for sure, especially if you were correcting a whole car. Man, I don't know if I could put up with that vibration of the cheaper machine. That takes a toll. Especially if you're machine polishing for like 6 or so hours straight. Right, orange light. white light. This is really interesting. So this is really confusing. They're so damn similar. They have, one's got a different set of problems to the other. So it's like one's done better in one area and the other has done better in another area. The only problem we got here too is we're comparing two machines with very different orbital coverage. So this pad is 150 mil and this is 165. And this also orbits in a bigger circumference, like a bigger area, where this one orbits smaller. So arguably, you could say that this machine would be working the area more so because it gets more rotations and it covers a large area than this one because it's more isolated. Therefore, you're actually getting more cut with this machine because it's a bigger backing plate, it has a bigger throw. Or it could work the other way around when you could say, well, this is more isolated, it should be working in small areas at a time, therefore it should cut better because it's in the smaller area. Everyone's kind of got a different mind frame of how I think it would work, but the results are staggeringly similar. I would say this is probably left a little bit more of a haze behind, but it's probably cut a little bit more, which we haven't really needed it to do. Where this machine has cleared up the paintwork and not left as much of a haze behind, but it hasn't taken out deeper defects. But the thing is, the comfort of using this well exceeds this. But for a DIY machine, for a weekend warrior or someone, and it's feeling really hot, like I can't hold it for long periods of time, where the heat control is seeing like, it's practically cold. Yeah, where this one's like holding it here with my hand, I'm starting to sweat because it's that hot. And this one's totally different. And I just used this machine, right? Didn't I? Yeah, I did. So really similar, but really different. I hope that helps. I hope I didn't leave you more confused than what you were before watching this video. But to help clear it up, we're gonna do maybe 2 more cars and do the same process and see what kind of results we get with these 2 machines. Cheap, around 100 bucks, expensive, around that $700, $800 mark, depending on where you are and who you buy from. So let's tune in for the next round of cheap versus expensive, round 2. Ding, ding. Let's go.